Heard is, but Oksana hasn't heard it. I have pull balls that I talk about, and I put these things in order in my mind. So 1 through like 500. So what's the worst thing that can happen in a trial? Your dog bites the judge. The second worst thing, your dog bites a handler. The third thing, dog attacks another dog. The fourth thing, your dog runs crazy. Fifth, all the way to your dog touching the jump. So my first ball is, with a young dog your dog's age, don't check out from me. Don't look away from me. That's, if I have a straight sit and a good long down and a good Vadaus, but my dog checks out, I'm working on ball number 228. I want to work on this one, which don't check out. So you see when you went like this, it was much better. So that's the very first thing I would do. What I was telling Oksana, you guys, is I don't want to beg my dog to want to look at me. I don't want to come to basic position in a trial. Hey, look, you know, and we've seen it a million times where they're looking at the judge looking, and you already know what that's going to do. I want Oksana just to come out here and him staring at her, which means if he's crooked or anything, I don't care. I mean, that's my ball number one. That would be, if you and I trained together, that'd be my ball number one. Okay. You stare at me, you stare at me all the time. That's one thing, I don't know where Lauren is, what we did with that rock, just stare at me. Don't do anything else but look at me, and then I'm gonna reward you. So, you guys, when do corrections lead to high drive? Everybody thinks a correction deteriorates a dog. I do not think so. A correction leads to higher drive. When we were talking about it one class, I don't know who was here, so I'll repeat it, is when we said, don't feed a fix. I like feeding a fix, which means when I saw Greg, and when he comes back out, if I put pressure on the dog in a right turn, pop, pop, and the dog says, whoa, yes, sir, I reward. So the correction, they can take a lot better. I compare it to like your boss calling you the F word and then saying, here's $1 million bonus, you can handle the bad word, because the reward is so high. He's checking for cans, I think, back there.
Yeah.
So what I told Oksana is after she corrects, no, go ahead, I'd reward. So it's not just, hey, it's Saturday and I feel like being a bad person, so I'm just going to correct you. It's, you cannot look away, but look, when you stare at me, I give you the $1 million. So that's the first thing. The second thing, she was asking about her crooked sit. I like to give a command. So I go 45-degree angles in the beginning. Here's my dog right here, 90-degree angle in front of me. I go off center and say, like if the dog's actually like here, in, pop, so they know what in means. Then I told her when she does her moving sit, in, so that will fix your crooked sit. That won't even be a problem. But that's ball number 38. I'm not even worried about that. I don't want him looking in, checking in with the other dog right there. I would not, you guys, I don't like setting a dog up, especially a young dog, for what I call failure, which means if I've only done send outs on my field, I'm sure not going to do a full field send out on this field. I'm going to go 10 feet away. But else, I mean, I already know you're going to fail, so I'm not going to set you up for failure. So if I know I have a problem just focusing on me and I want to check in, I'm going to leave the other dog there and have him, because that's probably enough. Every step you go closer to the stimuli, it's almost exponentially harder. So you were pretty close. I would have been, set him up for success. Look, you know what I mean? So not too close. Okay. Because what's the danger of correcting a dog when you're right here on a check-in?
Dog aggression.
Yes, they'll start saying, the other dog hurt me. Especially if you're using an e-call. Look, tick, tick. I'm next to that dog and that wasn't comfortable. You can fight this. If I have to use a leash, I'm gonna stay about right here. With your dog, probably about right here. And then I'd reward them. So that's my thing that I do on the check-in. I would use 2 chairs on your recall because he's kind of like jumping all around, so I'd use 2 chairs.
to kind of have him fix?
Yes, so he comes through the barrier.
Ah, okay.
Here, and he comes in. That way you take anything out of the equation. Now you can just work on him coming here.
Okay.
That's called barrier training. I would do that. I wouldn't do jumps, wall, send out, or anything until I have an excellent force.
Okay.
So I do force. So my homework for you would be force.
In.
Teach the in command, 2 chairs for a barrier on the recall. And when you can have him force, and there's people dancing around and children, then I'd start going into my next exercises.
Or do you want to go first?
He needs to be.
Oh, you already set up. I gotta
Okay.
check it
So
out back
and
up.
still the question. Let's say we're fussing and he has attention, and then I stop and he's crooked. I give
Say
him.
in.
So I keep saying until he stops being
Then
crooked.
it's muscle memory.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So just every time you stop, in. Then pretty soon, I don't even say in, but they're so used to. What you don't want it to be is a 2-part exercise. I stop, I'm crooked, you say in,
That's
and then
what
I'm
I'm
straight.
afraid of.
That's why
I'm
right when you stop, you say in.
Uh-huh.
In, every time. So it's not becoming a 2-part exercise.
Okay.
I don't wait for them to screw up and then say in.
Got it.
Just right away, in.
Okay. And another question is sometimes, and I think I'm working with it because he was a lot worse. When he is healing, he was sideways. Now he's a bit better, but he's still not straight. And I keep correcting it or let it go for now.
No, well, right now I'd let it go because he already knows healing. The very first thing I do with my healing is I heal like this,
Greg?
and I
How far do
reward
you
with my
take?
left hand.
Where was
so we're
that at?
straight.
Well, on the
That's the very
Really?
first thing that I do.
Okay.
Buy
And
anything?
when he
Yes, I
sits
did.
on the
Empty
floor,
now.
he kind of looks like this at me.
Lance
You
is
see
showing
that?
up
He's
tomorrow.
way far. Also forget it for now.
Yeah, for that right now I'd forget that. But if you feel his butt's coming out, so when you have the ball in your right hand and he's healing nicely and you go, where does his butt go to get the ball?
Yes.
It's out.
Throw that direction.
Yes, I would. If I have the ball in my right hand, oops, I'm throwing it there. The butt has to come into it.
Okay.
I would always throw left, not come around right. Thank you. But that'd be my main homework,
Yeah.
not 20 things, because then it's overwhelming for the dog.
Yeah, but he gets bored if we do only healing. That's why I started doing the lawn down and the call,
Why does he get bored?
because it's same thing over and over, and he's hyper. So he gets to the point where he's like, well, it's like same thing. So
But you're playing with him, right?
Yes, I do. But I tried to be, not like with the other dog. I tried to play very little because he had so hyper. I have to put him down and kind of make him calm and everything, and then we kind of over again. So I just
I'm
don't
not
want him
under-
to be bored with that.
No, I understand. But
And I usually, the way I do it, I'll tell you and tell me how to fix it. So I would do some healing, then we will take a break, and usually I put him down on his side, and he already knows that he has to come down and catch his breath and everything. And then when I restart, I do completely different thing, which is, let's say, recall or something else.
well, let me ask you a question. This can be an interesting question. Can a dog have too much ball drive? For me, no.
Okay.
I've never had a dog with too much ball drive. In fact, I try to build it. It's like saying I have too much money in my bank account. I'm sick of all this cash.
But then he burns out the energy, and then he can't breathe.
No, but that's what I'm saying. But then I end. I put him up.
Okay, so just have maybe shorter session.
Okay,
that's what
yes,
you're saying.
because you can take a look. If you do this, whoosh, and you're doing your healing, and you play, and you're making him crazy. Now we go up. What's going to be the last thing he remembers? High drive foos, not
Okay.
a board foos.
Got it.
But I would not go into what like a saturated solution where he can't handle anymore. I wouldn't. I correlate drive to this. If you and I went to a fancy restaurant and we had a little bit of creme brulee and you said I could have eaten 1,000,000 of those versus all you can eat Baskin Robbins ice cream, you're like, I don't want to see ice cream for 2 months. I'm sick of it. So I try to end on the peak
Got it. Okay.
where it's not, "Foos, I'm getting bored, I'm getting bored.
Okay.
I try to force. Yay, we play. I back tie you. We go crazy,
Okay.
and then you're up. So the last thing he was, I love force. I love force.
Got it.
That's my thought.
Okay. Thank you.
I hope that helped.
Yes, thanks. He's a bit
She's
different.
nodding, but like, mm-mm.
No, it
I'm
does.
kidding.
Because the other one, he is straightforward. I had many
Yeah.
dogs like him. You work normal with him. With this guy, he's like,
Use that to your advantage.
yeah, okay, got it.
Use it to the advantage. What I was telling Greg out there is, first of all, I know it's hot, and this is one of the things. I remember when I was 19 years old, I was so cocky because I was playing college basketball and I could run 12 miles without even thinking about it. I mean, just run. And I remember thinking to myself, how does somebody get out of shape? They got lazy. I liked working out, and I said, I'll never be out of shape. I remember thinking, I actually thought that when I was 19.
You're not
Like,
out of shape.
oh yeah, right. Now I'm like, but when I'm 19, so I look at the athletes as dogs as athletes, which means you have to be in the best shape of your life because they're athletes. So Greg has a black dog. We went from cool weather to June. So the dogs, I think a black dog especially, has to really be in good shape, you guys.
No, never a animal for my dog. It's just that way because
The next thing that I would do is, did you guys see Greg's dog head dipping? I would make a little bit of a game out of it, right when the head dips.
bothering me.
Boost. I'd try to get out of there, and they were like, "What are you doing?" So his head came up. That worked, didn't it? You made that right. That's what I